This is Barbara Clouser once again with myths, miracles, and wonders on the power of hypnosis. Now today I have a true story. It's entitled Velma's War on Cancer. Let's begin. I was sitting in my office gazing around the room when an overwhelming feeling of a presence came over me. Why, it felt as if someone had entered. I looked around, but I suddenly knew that I was alone. Then, for some strange reason, thought occurred to me that I needed to redecorate my clinic. Oh, how I remembered the many beautiful artifacts packed away that I needed to bring in and use. I decided this is a brand new year, and redecorating and changing the energy in here could increase the powerful energy and the presence within these old walls. I set about the task of moving, rearranging, and unpacking many beautiful artifacts that I had collected on my many travels. Soft music was playing in the background, and I felt at peace with myself and the world. As I stepped back to admire my work, my attention was suddenly averted toward the other side of the room as I heard something fall. Oh, my heart sank as the room was filled with many delicate and fragile items, and I feared that one had been broken. And then I saw what had fallen. Why, it was a small crystal ball about the size of a peach. It rolled across the room and stopped a few inches away from where I was standing. It laid there sparkling in the sunlight as it picked up the many colors in the room. Now, I never use crystal balls, nor am I judging anyone that does. To me, they are simply a medium that some people use to see things a little clearer, but I simply think they're lovely. Now, this particular crystal ball was given to me as a gift. It was given to me by a patient of mine, and I think she was trying to get my attention. Why, I had not thought of her in a long time. I picked up the ball, and the memories of my patient Velma began to flood through my mind. The first time I met her, she seemed as big as life itself. Her large motorized wheelchair filled the doorway of my office. As she drove it in and parked it in front of my desk, my attention was drawn to her large western hat and the brown bulky leather jacket that she was wearing. She smiled at me and said, "I just love your office. It's so very peaceful in here, and you have so many beautiful things." She studied the room for a moment, and then went on to say, "I guess why you're wondering why I'm here. I haven't spoken with you yet. I talked to your office, and they booked me my appointment." I noticed on her medical chart was written illness. I smiled and replied, "Yes, how can I help you?" She went right to the point and answered, "Well, I've been diagnosed with cancer. I came to you because I believe strongly in the power of the mind. And I hope that together with the chemo and hypnosis, maybe, just maybe, we can buy me some more time. What do you say?" Oh, I assured her that I would help her in any way I could. Now, I worked with her for several months, and we used creative visualization to help destroy the cancer cells on a subconscious level. She changed her diet completely to fresh fruits and vegetables, lean cuts of poultry and fish, nuts, seeds, greens, vegetables, fruits. She drank plenty of pure, fresh, distilled water. And she also took natural herbal supplements such as green tea, blue-green algae, and other things recommended to fight cancer. And after some time, she did go into remission. Now, Velma lived in the country, and she liked to soak in a large water trough that was built for cattle. She had bought it for herself so she could splash about in it on a hot summer day. She had the time of her life. She always wore her western hat to keep the sun off her head as she soaked in the trough. Even though she was up in years, she never missed the opportunity to have a good time. Why, she always smiled and loved a good joke. She always took the time to stop and smell the roses. Why, she had a great appreciation for life. One day, late in the afternoon, Velma popped in to see me at my clinic, and in her lap was a cardboard box. She said softly, "I have some personal things I want to give you. Do you have a minute?" I told her for her I would. And she said, "Barbara, my family is great, but they don't understand my beliefs. Why, they think I dabble with things and I'm doing the devil's work. But Barbara, you know that's not true." After she opened up the box, she handed it to me. I reached inside the cardboard box and pulled out a wooden mahogany box, while it was carved in beautiful, intricate patterns. I carefully opened the lid, and inside it was lined with black velvet. And in the center of the velvet was a deck of very, very old tarot cards. Now, I don't read tarot, but I didn't want to offend this dear, precious woman that was sharing her beautiful possessions with me. I smiled and I said, "I will treasure this gift because it comes from you." I continued to look through the cardboard box. There were several old books on hypnosis, ESP, and psychic development. Now, as I got to the bottom of the box, I found a beautiful porcelain figure of a praying Buddhist monk. It was the color of bone, and it was exquisite. Oh, I loved it. As I admired the porcelain figures, Velma said, "There are 2 more praying monks. The second monk is in the bottom of the box." And then I found it and unwrapped it from its newspaper enclosure. It was breathtaking, just like the first. It looked just like the other monk, except that it was carved out of wood. Oh, my heart skipped a beat for the sheer beauty and wonder of it. Then Velma said, "There's a third monk, and its color is deep forest green. And when I die, you will have him, and then there will be 3. I protested, "You're not going to die. It's been over 5 years since the cancer went into remission." But Velma ignored my concerns and said, "Please display these monks along with your other beautiful things so that your patients can enjoy them. But just promise me you will wait until they're all back together, so there will be 3. I agreed to do as she asked, but I felt saddened by the thought of losing her. There was one more gift in the bottom of the box, and after Velma's much prompting, I took it out. Once again, it was wrapped in newspaper in another wooden box. It was carved even more intricately than the first one. I opened the lid of the box, and it was lined with royal blue velvet. And sitting in the box, on the velvet, was a crystal ball on a lovely stand. As I was removing the ball from its box, I said I'd love to gaze at this crystal ball. Velma said, because it relaxes me so much with its beauty and clarity. I placed the crystal ball carefully on the table where I had my rock crystals, gemstones, and soft pink roses in a vase. Why, it looked right at home, and it blended in with the serenity of the room. Several months later, I received a call from Velma's granddaughter. She told me that the cancer was back, and Velma didn't have much longer to live. She said that she was asking to see me. I walked into her bedroom, and as soon as she saw me, she smiled. Soon I was seated on a chair by the bed, where she took hold of my hand, and she said, "Well, we fought a great fight, and we won, by buying me several good years." And I said, "Velma, we can do it again. Please don't give up." She replied, "No, I'm tired, and it's all right. I'm at peace with my God, and I'm ready to go." I could feel the tears welling up in my eyes. "No," I protested once again. But she turned her gaze away from me and began staring at the wall. I scooted gently into the edge of her bed and gathered her into my arms like a child, while I cradled her and gently rocked her. I spoke softly of spring, and how beautiful the pink blossoms of the cherry trees that were in full bloom all along the countryside. I stayed with her for several hours, until she fell asleep in my arms. The next day I found her son standing in the lobby of my clinic, and when I saw him I froze in my tracks. He was carrying a cardboard box, and I knew why he had come. He set it on the floor before me. He bent down reverently and slowly lifted the top. He reached inside and pulled out the third praying monk. It was a deep forest green. Then he said softly, "She went peacefully in her sleep last night." This, my dearest ones, is Barbara Clouser, and I'm only one phone call away, 209-825-7046. And I love you, and I will always love you, and I'm only one phone call away. Until next time, I love you. Bye-bye.